O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rack, the prize we've sought is won. O Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung. From fearful trip to victor ship comes in with object one.
At home for Game 3. Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships for the DNVR Avalanche pregame show presented by Bet365. 1-1 series, Avs, Dallas. Gabe Landeskog back for real this time. No take backsies. He's playing in the lineup.
I'm not sure.
I'm just kidding. Come on, brother.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He's already said it.
I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this text that he sent me a little while ago, but Justin Michael at the rink for us tonight texted me and said, I've never felt more pressure to nail a game story than this one. And as the person writing like a separate Landeskog column tomorrow morning, I feel you.
It's on right now.
I feel you.
It's been a 3-year build.
Exactly. We've been waiting for this, and now he did all the work to come back. Now it's on us to tell the story accurately.
I think it's safe to say going into puck drop, vibes are pretty good right now. For us in that building, you have to think there's going to be an extreme high for Colorado to start this game.
I think you're feeling it.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're feeling from what we're seeing at the rink there, feeling it for warm-up. You're feeling it like, you know, the walking in the building, and obviously Gabe being at the center stage of all that. And so it's exciting. It's a playoff series with two awesome hockey teams, right? And then unfortunately one of them's going to be out. So we all know the series is 1-1. Now this is the first game at home this season for the Avalanche for a playoff game. Gabe is back, so it all coincides all together, and it's going to be awesome. And you can feel the energy. You feel the energy in here in the studio. And I know that AJ's panicking, Tiff's crying, and then you're about to just go nuts and pop off. And you don't have your Man Rocket shirt.
I wore it the other day.
Logan. Kidding. We love Logan.
Well, look, I wore this shirt for a reason. If we have our stat pack, we can pull that up for you, because Logan O'Connor might be on the list here. You have the 2-game series so far. Power plays are dead even. 5-on-5 possession, pretty darn close. The Avs still the slight advantage, even though Dallas was the better possession team the other night. The Avs have done a much better job being efficient with their scoring chances. Dallas has actually had more high danger, but they're only shooting 4%.
A lot more high danger is the problem.
A significant amount more.
I think it was a 16-7 advantage
Correct.
in game 2, so you're talking like
nearly double, more than double actually. But
yeah, like they beat you up pretty good in game 2, so you got to defend way better tonight.
But these last two are interesting. The Avs 5v5 scoring leader is Logan O'Connor. And on the other side, Dallas doesn't have anyone with more than 2 points at 5-on-5. And their leader is Sam Steele. So it's been a weird series at 5-on-5 through 2 games. You have not seen the production from a lot of the guys that you expect. You've gotten it from those guys on their power plays, but when it comes to the 5-on-5 play, we haven't seen the top of these lineups really play up to the ability that we know both sides have.
Definitely.
And I know Robo's not there for Dallas, but you're still looking at guys like Marchman and Duchesne, Mikko. They have firepower up there that hasn't produced. And of course, you all know Makar has no points at 5-on-5 in this series yet. Unlikely for that to continue. I'll put it to you that way. The other side of that, the Avs defense, with Heiskanen out, the Avs defense has to be the more productive defense in this series.
Yep.
It has been so far. That needs to continue.
Yeah, I mean, that's especially Sam Alinsky drawing into the lineup.
Yep.
You're putting him in there because of your puck management, puck moving ability. You're going to get a little, probably a touch worse defensively, in theory. You'll get a touch worse defensively.
Certainly when it comes to battling and physicality.
You should be quite a bit better with the puck.
Yep.
So,
don't have to win puck battles if you just have the puck.
well, and we need to see who he is
For sure.
because
This will be his first playoff game.
This has been a season for him of growing and kind of breaking through the Avs like we don't like young players kind of thing. Luckily for him, he's
not that young.
He's an old young player, so I think it. I trust that Sam Malinsky's going to be fine handling the spotlight, but yeah, you want the Avalanche back end should be a much bigger advantage than it has been so far.
Well, D-Line, that's if you're listening, that's a new shirt. Old young player. Sam. But I love it. No, but we know what you're talking about, and I think it'll be interesting to see because he's such a different player today than he was a year ago when he was going into his first playoff. And
different player than he was 40 games ago.
Exactly.
Honestly,
and I think that's exciting. That's another storyline that, obviously going to get buried in the Landy storyline, but it's a great one. And, I'm looking forward to watch Sam tonight. You know what I mean? See how he reacts. And EJ's going to be in his corner too. And, or EJ's not going to be mad because he's not playing. And, it's all good. EJ said he was going to tape sticks if he has to and steer the drink and the water and whatever it is in the locker room. And, they'll be ready to go.
I hope so. I want to kind of ask you guys this. And look, there is virtually no pressure on Gabe Landeskog tonight. Just his simple existence in the lineups should give the Avs a significant boost.
Yeah.
But what's a realistic expectation for him? Jumping back into a playoff game, we're expecting him to have reasonably limited minutes at least. Is there a performance caliber he needs to hit, or is this just a total welcome back, go out there, skate around, let's go?
I don't know that it would be fair to even have an expectation for him.
It's been 3 years.
This isn't something that an NHL player has returned from. The one NBA player that we've seen come back from this surgery took quite a while to get into some sort of form. My expectations here are honestly pretty limited. I'm like 10 minutes. Play 10 minutes. Maybe get to let's say 10 minutes even strength, maybe a little bit of power play 2 time. I really don't have high expectations for it. It's going to be, you're going to get hopefully an effective player of some caliber, but not the Gabe Landeskog that we
You're expecting that, you're in for a bad time.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm expecting. He is going to be on power play too, because I saw it at morning skate this morning, right?
Perfect.
So that's fair assessment by the GOAT there, AJ. Yeah, 10 minutes, give and take, whatever it is. And I think just his presence in the locker room, just his presence on the bench, it makes a difference. He's been missed that way. And what I was going to say to AJ when we were eating some food there before Rudo got here, I'm talking about a few hours ago, I said, I'll wait till the show to say it. Here's my take. Here's my expectations. We talked on the pod yesterday, and we talked about maybe 5 guys out of 20 guys dressed last game for the Avalanche reached their ceiling, of what they are.
5 might be
and
generous.
About 15 guys might have been towards the floor. I'll tell you one thing. Gabe Landeskog, what he's been through the last 3 years, if you personally have a floor game tonight, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest.
Disrespecting your captain.
And I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I'm saying absolutely. So that's why I think they're all gonna be towards their floor, the ceiling. I think that's the effect Gabe Landeskog's gonna have tonight. Besides the 10 minutes or whatever it is. I have no expectations when it comes down to. It's 3 years, never been done. It's never been done.
Right.
So I don't know.
Let me ask you this: are the Avs about to jump the first person that touches Gabe Landeskog in this hockey game?
Look, if you're Mason Marchment, right? You're like, if I'm on the ice against that guy, I'm going for it.
Yep.
100%.
I'm going for it because the emotional
and the line
devastation
brawl is gonna break out.
The emotional devastation that it would bring for them to pull some shenaniganery against Gabe Landeskog after 3 years, but also the disrespect it would be.
Yeah, but
also, are you willing to die?
Yeah, that's the ultimate, okay, you have to respond to this, right?
Right.
This is not Leon Bischel saying some mean stuff to Nathan MacKinnon behind the net and everybody kind of just moving on. You would have to get a little crazy in response to that.
But if you're Dallas, why wouldn't you do that? Because it's like that's the one thing where the Avalanche can be really undisciplined, then you get some power plays out of it. So I'm just saying, right?
But also, we saw, do you remember the Buffalo game when the Avs blew their top with the Scott Wedgwood thing?
Yeah.
And
we don't.
flipped out.
I'm not saying they should do that.
Absolutely destroyed the rest of that game out of anger.
I'm a big believer in that. You guys know that.
Do you want to wake the beast at the same time? Like there's a real like push and pull there of like the pros and cons. But also Jamie Bennett, Mason Marchment just they can't help themselves. That's who they are. That's their DNA. They're gonna get wild. And it's look, if Gabe Landeskog can't be protected, this is an NHL game. Yep. You got to go out there and be able to handle yourself. And it's not something Gabe Landeskog's ever had a problem doing.
Not wrong.
So go ahead, try him.
Let's see what happens.
We'll see how he responds. We'll see how you hold up when that response comes. Like we'll see what it does.
Let's expand this past Landeskog. We know what he's got to do. What do the Avs have to do? 3 keys to take control of this series on home ice.
Yeah, and that's why, I wrote that early this morning because I'll touch on 92 a little bit there. But for me, the first one is a little bit what Rudo was just talking about with AJ about the 5-on-5 battle. You got to win the 5-on-5 battle. It's playoff hockey. It's funny because you and me didn't even talk, and it's like, take a page.
The topics are obvious tonight.
Take a page out of LOC. I mean, wow. How crazy is that? And we didn't talk, just so you guys know. Top guys have to be the top guys out there. More north-south plays, direct plays, less east-west plays. Get in the grease. Win the 5-on-5 battle. Take the emotional Landeskog return to help you with that part. And then number 2, come out energized. If you can't be, we just touched on it. If you can't be personally energized, you shouldn't be in this. Let alone be in this league. You should be alive. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be part of this thing. So they're gonna be obviously in the emotional battle, and obviously I wrote 92 question mark. That was this morning, and then we all know he's in now. But get after that first goal. I love the Avalanche when they take the lead. I love the Avalanche when they get after it, but under control. We just talked about it a little bit. We got to be under control. Yeah. You can't let the emotions, get the best of you. And then MacKinnon with 3, and I truly believe it. Our goalie McKenzie has to be better than their goalie Ottinger. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is I know that the scoring chances were a little bit better for the Dallas than the Avs last game, but McKenzie I thought was awesome in the first game, and I'm not saying he was bad in the second game, but I really want this to be where Mackenzie Blackwood was awesome tonight, just like game 1. You know what I mean? I think that's an important factor tonight. Be up to this task. He did look sharp this morning. He did look swaggy. So limit the high-quality chances. It's something you touched upon in your graphic there. Yep. So if the Avs can do that, get back to Avalanche hockey there, and not play on their heels like they did in the third period, but play on their toes, those should be the keys for the Avs to get a big win tonight.
Let me ask you guys this, because we talked the other day about potential swapping positions on lines for certain Avs players, but you are back on home ice now. Yep. You get that last change. Is there any lineup hunting tonight, or do you think the Avs go best on best?
No, I mean, the way that I just because they've been so good, I would try to put Drury out there against the Duchesne line as often as possible.
Limit that a bit, yeah.
Just because that is best on best through 2 games.
It kind of is.
So I would try and do that. Okay. I would try and put them out there and then get MacKinnon out there against everybody else. See if you can. That's your advantage of home ice, other than the obvious
crowd and Landy
crowd, altitude, your own building. It's 1-1 and all the other blah 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 blah. Right? Yeah. Like that's your advantage. So yeah, you should absolutely be hunting some sort of matchup. I think it would, for me, it would start with Drury against the Duchesne line and then feel out how the other lines are playing, because you've had some really iffy performances from
most of your middle six.
Your entire middle six.
And your top line guys too, to be fair. But
yeah, your top line just has not been very good.
Yep.
At 5v5. So yeah, you've got to get them going somehow.
Yep. It's just true. I do want to talk about that a little bit more, but we also heard from Jared Bednar this morning about some of the potential game plans. So let's hear what Coach had to say.
Just a reminder, raise your hand. Questions for Jared Bednar? Go ahead, Ryan.
Is Gabe going to play tonight?
We'll see.
What's the criteria in determining that for you?
Gut feeling.
Questions? Jesse?
Coach Sam Alinsky had a really strong finish to the season. You talked to us about why you didn't want to go with him. If you were to put him back into the lineup tonight or in the future, what would you be looking for him to bring?
Same thing he did all year, honestly. Like, he played some really good stretches for us. There's some things you got to be aware of with the Dallas Stars and the way they play, and so we just make the player aware of that. He's been in all our meetings, so he understands, what he's facing and areas where he can get dangerous offensively and what the job he has to do on the defensive side of it. But really, I just want him to go play him to play his best hockey, just kind of like he did all year.
Bailey, then Pat.
Josh Manson was saying he feels pretty good after returning the last couple of games, said his specific style of play he thinks is a benefit in playoffs. What is it about him that make him such a dangerous weapon during the playoffs?
Well, it's the physicality, it's a physical, competitive game, especially this time of the year, and so he just has the ability to get into people down low in the defensive zone and steal pucks back and stop the cycle and protect the net front, and that's what a lot of the game is in playoffs, and he's really good at it.
Pat?
Coach, I know you've talked about this a lot, but how much of the additions of Brock and Charlie and everyone, and Brian, how much have they just kind of altered what you do and been a luxury almost?
Yeah, they're all huge. I like you said, I talked about it before. It's strength down the middle of the ice, size, experience, on the back end as well, the physicality with Ryan, and again, a lot of this game you have to defend really well against these top teams because they're so deep. So you need that depth and you need that experience, and the size and physicality certainly doesn't hurt.
John, go ahead.
You guys talked about the excitement of playing on home ice for the first time, but is there a message about the responsibility of protecting home ice?
Well, yeah, yes and no. They know where we're at in the series. They understand how big of a game this is tonight and how big it is to take care of your home ice. That's everything in winning a series. We went into Dallas, we did the job we needed to do and got one, and tried to get greedy and get two, and came up short, so now we have to respond. It's all about the response in playoffs. Whether you win or lose, it's how you can bounce back and get ready to play the next night. It makes it even more important because we're on home ice and we need the 2 points, or need the win.
Any last questions, Jesse?
I just wanted, we didn't ask you about O'Connor the other night. He picks up 2 points, scores a kind of a circus act goal there. You were just talking to Nate, and he said that he thinks that OC is right dialed in right now in terms of the effort, not moving too fast and things like that. Just your thoughts?
Yeah, those 2 games from OC were incredible, I thought. That line's been really good. OC in particular on the second night was outstanding. He's been on for almost all of our goals for. Some of them with his line, some of them without his line, and on the defensive side of it, he's just they see his focus and preparation, his details in his game right now are incredible, and his pace to his game is even ramped up more than usual.
Pierre, then Romy.
Jared, it's such a unique situation with Gabe in terms of the 3 years and the ups and downs, and the tradition of this sport is when a player's injured, it's almost mean in a way, but you focus on who's here and who's in the room, right? That's hockey. But he's your captain and your leader. What's it been like to deal with? He's such a big part, and yet we don't know where this is going.
Yeah, for the longest stretches, it was just focus on the guys who were here because we didn't have any sort of idea when he would be back, right? But he's an invaluable guy to our team, not only with what he provides on the ice, but also in the locker room. And now he's been around, obviously, a lot more because he's gearing up and getting ready to play. And we welcome him back. Everyone is rooting for him. Obviously, it's a great comeback story. I trust in Gabe's preparation and what I'm seeing with my own eyes that he's getting close and ready to play, and I think he feels really good about where he's at. And so we've had those discussions, but adding him back into our locker room just like, because he's just like almost an extension of the coaching staff, but he's still one of the guys, and the guy that everyone looks up to, and I think you can't get enough of that this time of the year, right? So, yeah, hoping it goes really well for him here in the next few days.
Last two, Romy, then Eric.
Jared, with Mackenzie Blackwood, obviously hadn't played in the postseason until this year. How did you know he was going to be ready for that moment? What has impressed you most about his play?
You know, almost the same thing. Like, you just watch and, you know, you see him work every day, the preparation he puts into it, his ability, size, and you watching the games and practices. And, I mean, he was a great goalie for us coming right over from San Jose, and won us some big games, played great in key moments. And so, like, once you can do it through the course of regular season, it's just a mental game after that for playoffs, right? So, but I trust in his preparation and what he's done all season long, and no reason why he can't continue to do that through the playoffs.
All right, finish, Eric.
Without getting into specifics, will you shake up the top 6 today to spark some guys?
Possibly.
Okay, thank you, Jared.
Yeah, thanks.
Last.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude.
Avs. Let's be honest. We were talking about this while the Bednar presser was playing. It's not a must-win in the sense of, like, the series isn't over if the Avs don't win this game. But given the situation, given the return of Gabe Landeskog, given the ridiculous energy around this game, you really need to win this if you're the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, there's no Robertson, there's no Heiskanen. Heiskanen's coming back for game 4. It's happening. Just prepare yourselves. Especially if they lose tonight, they're going to push it. He'll be in. Yep. And then you have Landy coming back. You're on home ice. Your best players haven't put in it. Like, all the recipes are there.
Yep.
For you to have yourself a big night. I wonder if the vibe kind of has felt a little Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final against Tampa Bay. There's so much anticipation and so much, like, I can't wait for them to win this game, that I wonder if the team plays
tight.
tight.
The same. I think this
It's
is the
very, very
we're
different.
doing this is much more the feel.
It's very different situations, but I also have just been that game scarred me a little bit. So I wonder if they just can't help it, you know?
Sure.
Like I think there's going to be 3 phases of this game. Way too much energy early. The lull as the adrenaline wears off.
And then the stabilization.
And then, okay, let's go win the game now.
Yep.
Well, a couple things. I wouldn't want to be the referee tonight. So, because the first guy that gave him, like, what if it's the penalty?
Call that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't win. You know, you call a penalty or you don't call a penalty. Someone's gonna be mad.
Hey, look, the guy in the AHL did it.
Yeah, that's true. Man.
The guy in the AHL had the stones to call Landy for
all
some
right, fair
some
enough.
stuff.
That's that. But here's what I'm gonna say. Besides all this, the one stat that is going to make me look like a genius right now, even though the girl doesn't like when I talk on our pod there, but that's okay. I'll talk.
Please talk. That's
The
the
Avs-
job.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, it's like I'm going to try to be mute. Like, last, 3 home games, the Avs in the playoffs have lost on home ice. Go back to last year.
That
I'm
would have
going to say
been
the last 3
Yeah,
on
because
home
they got
ice.
the split and then they
Yes,
lost.
sir.
Yeah, you're right.
So you don't want to make it 4. How's
Yeah.
that? Yeah, I know it's year to year, it's different, but they got to be better on home ice
Well,
in the
and-
playoffs. And it's the same core guys. You know, it's Nate, it's Mac, and so you need a big game out of the top guys tonight. I know we've talked about the bottom lineup and all that stuff. At the end of the day, you need the cream to rise tonight, especially with the Landy boost. Come on.
Make no mistake, you owe this team one. The last game you played on home ice of the playoffs against this team,
That's my point.
well, not the last game,
I'm
but
sorry, but if we're talking somebody owes them something, it's...
you know who it is.
Am
Everybody
I,
knows who it is.
Am I allowed to swear on the pregame show?
No.
Not right now.
It is gosh darn Valnichushkin.
Of course.
Who has been terrible in this series.
Yes.
He owes them. So start with that, and then we can talk about Landy owing some guys some stuff.
I don't think Landy owes anyone anything. I'm just saying, when you look at Game 4 of last year's series, the vibes were about as low as they could be, and we saw how that game went.
Yeah.
Tonight, the vibes are about as high as they can be for the Avalanche.
Flip
Flip that script on its head.
That's it. That's well said right there.
Yeah.
All right, we are running low on time here, so let's speed run crystal ball, boys. Give me a number, give me a name. E, let's start with you.
Well, guess what? On a night like tonight, he's going to be on his line. Avs are winning 4-3 tonight.
Close.
It could be overtime. And I'm taking my guy, not Landy, but his line mate. Meow.
He's one
Give me
game
the
early.
cat.
He's one game early.
Give me the cat scoring tonight. He's escaping Landy and everything. He's actually playing with him. The cat is back tonight.
I'm down for it. I think you're one game early, but all right.
That's okay.
I'll take it. AJ,
I'll
what
take
you
him
got?
both games.
I think that I'm going to go 6-1 for Colorado, and I guess I'll just keep doing this until it happens someday, but let's go with Brock Nelson.
They need better from that line.
They do.
I went with 6-2, so I'm Price is writing AJ, but
I'm surprised, though. I'm surprised.
no, I that's been my vibe for this game.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
surprised that AJ didn't take the homie. Picasso.
no.
Whatever his name is.
Shakespeare.
It's the
Shakespeare.
guy.
Same thing.
It's
Picasso.
the guy. It's
I thought he was going
this
Druin.
is my cop out answer, but it's
Not
Cale
today.
Makar.
All right, fair.
It's Cale Makar's night to go ham.
Fair enough. I got money on it, so let's go.
Got money on Kivy.
Speaking of which, let's get to my pregame picks presented by Bet365, where things are never ordinary. Honestly, there's a lot of good money out there. We were looking. There's a lot of good bets you can put out there for the Avs in
I
this
have
one.
3 bets in this game.
Yeah, you got options on this one. Starting off with the good stuff, a Gabe Landeskog point at plus 140. Why not? Why not jump in and go with the emotional pick? I'm also taking the Avs to score at least 4.5 at plus 200. And then the boosted bet from Bet365 of a Makar assist, a Necas assist, and the Avs to win at plus 400. You can get in on a bunch of other stuff. I think it was Draisaitl and MacKinnon to both have 5 shots for like 1,000.
Yeah.
That's a really good
Yeah.
money bet. There are great options out
I mean,
there. with
both of those guys
Bet365.
need to have huge nights, but it's both of those guys.
I mean, a Nathan MacKinnon 5-shot night isn't that huge.
right, but I mean,
Yeah.
given how he's played in this series, some things would have to change.
I get it, but home ice, who knows? Either way, go get your bets in with Bet365. When you do, of course, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone who knows a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. I think we have at least one super chat, 2 super chats to get to. 10 from Broker, who says, for the captain. Yep, that's the rallying cry.
How is that $9.99 and not $9.92?
Good point.
Missed opportunity,
Good
my
point.
friend.
5 from Troy, who says, Landy, off-topic question for Eric. With Marchment flopping around like that, do the refs come together to review that and keep an eye out for it next game?
I'll go quick right there. Actually, there's a supervisor, usually an ex-referee, that's assigned to each series. For this series, it's actually a former referee. I loved him. He's a great guy. Don Van Massenhoven. Huge dude. I don't know if you guys remember him. Refereed forever in the NHL. Anyway, he's a supervisor. So now the supervisor will talk to each team, usually CMAC or whoever from the front office that's designed to talk to them. And usually the next day, which was yesterday, you talk with the supervisor, not with the Dallas Stars, but individually. So that was brought up. That was shown with a few, obviously, look no further than the Kivity cap penalty against Marchment.
Yep.
And that's how it works. And, then you talk about it, and then the referees, what they do is they go tonight. I think it's Chris Rooney and I forgot who, and Freddie Lequier is like the backup referee. So in the playoffs, there's always backup referees in case something happens. So they have a little bit of a meeting, and yes, they do talk about this. And this is what Colorado's concerns were. This is what Dallas is. I'm sure Dallas is going to show
had
some
their own
concerns.
complaints,
Why
whatever,
does whatever MacKinnon get away with stuff or whatever? You know what I mean? So that's how you do it. And that's where the mind games are played, but it is addressed and it is showed to the referees, and it is told to the referees what the concerns were for both teams.
Okay, puck drop 12 minutes away. We are out of here. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show presented by Bet365. Watch along up next.
We all silly like the mayor.